Good evening. It's the day that the country's topmost police officer and somebody who has been in the headlines for the last 2 years, almost always for all the wrong reasons. Ranjit Sinha retired today, and it's also the day that for the first time a new panel, which includes the leader of the opposition, sat today to decide who will be the country's top vigilance officer, the new CBI director. We should have a name out very soon. And of course, we saw earlier in the day those pictures of Ranjit Sinha leaving the CBI office amidst a lot of controversy, because most recently, for the first time, he's been the CBI officer who's been removed from a case as well. So on agenda today, we have a very interesting panel. For the first time ever, we have 3 CBI directors, top CBI officers, together on the panel for the first time, and they're all going to talk about their colleagues. Let me just introduce you to them. There's Joginder Singh. He was a CBI director, and of course, very interesting, he was transferred out from the CBI director's post after some months, and it was after him that the Vineet Narayan judgment came in, where they gave them 2 years of fixed tenure. We also have PC Sharma, the former CBI director, who was also an NHRC head, and ML Sharma, CBI Special Director, who almost became the CBI Director. He never really spoke about it. We are hoping he'll speak about it today, how he was at the last minute pipped to the post by Ashwini Kumar. It became a huge controversy. So we'll be speaking to them in just a bit. Of course, just to tell our viewers, the news coming in right now is that the Prime Minister has just held the meeting. They finalized the name and the whole panel with the Chief Justice of India, the Leader of the Opposition Mallikarjun Kharge, and Prime Minister meeting there, finalizing those names. It's the first time that process has been adopted, which many are hoping will be a much more fairer process instead of having someone for the government. So our first talking point really, Ranjit Sinha, he is the person being talked about really, and just look at it, dramatic till the end. His pictures today showed that the car sending him off was totally decked up like a wedding, and that's Ranjit Sinha for you, always controversial. Now the question that I want to ask his peers, his colleagues, I'm sure some of them worked with him as well, has he been the worst director, or has he just been an unlucky one? Mr. Joginder Singh?
No, I don't have to say anything. He himself has said, and in today's all papers carry that I have done a very bad job. So how can I contradict him? I mean, when he...
I think he was being ironic. He was being...
No, I don't know. I didn't see him. I didn't meet him. He worked with me. He was the DIG in Patna for Fadder's camp.
Oh yes, that's very interesting and newsy as well, because Ranjit Sinha, when he was DIG in Patna Fadder's camp, that's when he was accused to be close to Lalu Yadav, right?
No, I won't say close or anything, but I'll tell you one thing here. I have been very unhappy on the Fadder's camp case here. For the first time, the CBI supported the stand of Lalu Yadav, saying that he should not be tried for the same offence, same charges again.
Yeah.
It means today, if I am a thief, I commit a theft in your house, tomorrow in his house, day after tomorrow in another friend's house, next day his, PC Sharma, next day
I know, sir, but
Sharma's.
I think we digress
So,
there.
no, but point is here, a theft is a theft.
Okay.
Then if you give to this politicians, why not all ordinary thieves? He has committed only same 379 or dacoity or what, robbery. What
to
is
just bring it back to
so I am saying
Sinha.
I would not comment on him except he himself, but most of the people felt.
And you agree with that?
I totally agree with him.
Okay.
Because how can I disagree? He has worked with me. He has himself admitted that he has done a bad job.
Mr. PC Sharma, we don't often hear from you. Worst or just unlucky because he spoke out?
Well, no other director in CBI's history was surrounded by such controversy. He has worked with me, I've seen his work, and I feel utterly distressed that he gave such a poor performance.
What was the worst according to you? Which bit upset you the most?
You see, registering cases on unsound assumptions, making U-turn during the course of investigations, and acting in an arbitrary manner. And if I use the word, a Hindi word, the man who went away, far away from the maryada of CBI. This has never happened.
Okay. Mr. Sharma.
Well, I fully endorse what 2 of my seniors have said. As a CBI director needs to have 3 qualities. One is professional competence, second is top integrity, and third is balance.
And
now,
also carrying the team with you.
Going by the newspaper reports,
I'm sure you have your inside sources as well. Yeah, you don't have to rely on us news reporters to tell you the story.
Mr. Joginder Singh,
yeah.
Two of us never met him officially or in the office after he assumed office. We never met him. What we know about him is only through the newspaper, and is nothing to write home about.
Okay, but Mr. Sharma, I wanted to ask you, first of all, tell us how this whole appointment process took place, and I wanted to actually bring in that, you know, because we have a new selection panel for the first time. Do you welcome that, Mr. Sharma? Because with you, things were very unfair, weren't they? So tell us about that.
Which Sharma you are asking?
Mr. M.L. Sharma. I don't think you had an unfair time. Mr. M.L. Sharma, just to tell our viewers, in 2010, Mr. M.L. Sharma was about to take over
as regular director.
Yeah, as a director, but things kind of, in fact, it was before that actually, in 2008 really.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to take over, and at the last minute, when he was almost taking over, things changed, and it was said to be Ashwini Kumar, who many said, who later on went on to become governor. So do you welcome, sir, our next talking point is that the new selection panel, do you welcome that things like what happened with you will never happen again?
Well, I certainly welcome this, because there is a Prime Minister, there is a leader of opposition, and to balance the two, there is a Chief Justice of India as nominee. So it's a welcome change. And as far as my issue is concerned, you see the piece written by famous journalist, reputed journalist Madhav Nalpat in Sunday Guardian of 2nd July 2014 says it all. So it doesn't become me to go into details. It's very demeaning to talk about it.
Well, that article talks about the fact that Ashwini Kumar, that article alleges that he was only chosen because he was close to the Gandhi family. And you agree with that?
Well, it says enough. I don't have to add anything to it.
I think it is open truth.
But
not only
if you
any
believe the journalist version and go by the newspaper reports, this report says a lot, and how he became the director. I would strongly advise you to read this.
Yes, of course. I just wanted to kind of go through the list. I think what we'll be showing is some of the things that the last 2 years and CBI and perhaps these gentlemen over here, these officers, they've been at the top of the organization. Just to look at what the agency has heard from the Supreme Court, has been pulled up by the Supreme Court in the last 2 years, and most recently been recused from the 2G case, been called caged parrots. What do you think it does to the morale of our premier investigating agency?
Well, ma'am, with the permission of my senior, Mr. Joginder Singh, I would like to say one thing. Let us not confuse the CBI as an institution and its head.
Absolutely.
CBI as an institution has always done very well. There are cases which no other agency in the country could have solved, but this organization did. I will give you one example.
Yeah.
John F. Kennedy's murder, assassination was not solved by FBI, we talk about so much. Martin Luther King's assassination was not solved by FBI, we talk about so much. But you name any complicators, Beyant Singh case, Rajiv Gandhi case, Deen Dayal Upadhyay case, and so many other cases like this. They were solved by this organization.
By
so
the
let
CBI.
us
Okay,
not
it's a
blame
good
the
reminder because we've forgotten, yeah.
Let us not blame the organization. It is the leadership which has failed the organization. Organization has not failed the leadership.
Okay, that young man has a question. Yeah, go ahead.
Respected sirs, good evening. My question being that since we have a new process of electing a director right now, how important do you think it is to have a set amount of procedures, a set doctrine or a statute governing the CBI in the current culture? Because CBI, as we know, has no constitutionality to back it up, no particular law giving it the powers. How important do we need to have a set statute governing such procedures?
No. Shall I respond?
Yeah, go ahead.
Young man, it's not correct that there is no statute. There is Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946 and there is CVC Act which governs the function of CBI. It's a statutory body, it's a constitutional backing, and without that it won't have functioned the way it's functioning. Not correct. But the point is about the appointment of director CBI. So this question has been raised earlier also. Now this process has now been streamlined by bringing in the Chief Justice of India to balance the two politicians. So I hope that in the years to come, the selection process will become more transparent, more effective, and more competent-centric.
Mr. Sharma, you want to add?
Yeah. Let's be more frank. You see, it has been felt, and to a great extent, rightly, that earlier procedure of selecting director CBI has failed. You see the selections of during the last few tenures of director CBI, they have been question mark. And therefore, when the earlier procedure failed, the government has rightly decided on a new procedure. And you can't have a greater person than Prime Minister, the Chief Justice of India and the leader of the opposition. And it is hoped that in future, the right kind of selection will be made. Because crises of leadership, crises of the selection.
But do you think politicians want that? Don't they want someone pliable?
No, they say here that definitely they want pliable people. There is no doubt on that one. I have made it very clear inside my book, Inside CBI. So much so, I would have to reveal, which is already there, which many would not have read. In one case, one of the persons who later on became Prime Minister.
You can name names now, sir.
I think he is no more. Not fair in naming anybody. The then Prime Minister called me. He said, I was given this chit. So I read it on. Okay. It says, I met Shri so-and-so and he suggested that CBI should file an affidavit. Because many have not read the book, I have to repeat it here. Saying that Shailendra Mehta is a drunkard. He is one of the
Prime Minister tell you to file an affidavit?
No, he didn't tell me. He showed me chit. That Shailendra Mehta is drunkard. He is not a reliable case in Jharkhand Mukti Morcha bribery case, where 50 lakhs was given to 5 MPs of Jharkhand Mukti Morcha by the then ruling party.
What did you say?
No. I just said here, I said, sir, this just cannot be done. He said, why? I said, no, how can I be disloyal to the organization in which I am serving?
Yeah.
In my presence, he telephoned the gentleman who later on became Prime Minister. He says CBI director doesn't agree, and he was so annoyed.
Okay.
He gave a statement
Mr.
that
Sharma,
CBI has
Mr.
declared its
Sharma.
independence. It was a headline.
I wanted to ask, did it happen later also? Were you ever called by the Prime Minister and given instructions?
Never.
Never.
Never. Let me tell you one thing in this context. Whether I was called or not doesn't matter. Or whether Mr. Joginder Singh was told something to do doesn't matter. We are living in an age of pressures and sifarish. These will always be there.
Okay.
Always be there.
Age of sifarish. Okay, that's what we are talking about. And for the first time, 3 CBI directors, well, one person who almost became director, number 2 really in CBI, telling us how they assess the Ranjit Sinha years and the new CBI director coming up. Also, what they think of the director meeting the accused. That's coming up in just a bit.